Hey everybody, I'm Kelly Lynn and I'm here with my business partner Debbie Williamson and the
Hello.
fabulous Liz Reynolds.
Hello.
Welcome to this episode of Debbie and Kelly Live. And anything can happen on these episodes, but mostly we're looking for quality information and fantastic people to share tools with you. And we have exactly that with special guest Liz here. I'm going to let Debbie and Liz talk a little bit about how we're all connected, and we'll go from there.
Well, Liz, I think we met about 8 years ago at a yoga function and have kind of been in and out of each other's lives for a while, always getting to know each other through yoga, of course, and essential oils. And you remind me of myself, where you have your hands in multiple businesses and have done many, many things, from yoga teacher, singer, dancer, worked for a magician in China. Is now an Ayurvedic wellness coach, has your own branded business, Liz Reynolds. And I'd love for you to just share a little bit about what's happening now.
Yeah, thanks for having me, ladies. This is going to be so much fun. So right now, I am focusing mostly on my online movement platform, which I started before all of this craziness of the pandemic. Luckily, because when the pandemic hit, I had a library of probably, 45 classes pre-recorded and some meditations as well that I had been building since October. So you can imagine over the past 2 months, that business has grown substantially, which has been super helpful for me and exciting and inspiring, just getting more people interacting with each other. I'm doing live sessions once a week with the members, and sometimes inviting non-members to join us. So we have a little bit of a community aspect to the platform in that way. So yeah, I'm focusing on that mainly, and then my Ayurvedic wellness counseling sessions as well, trying to start that and build that.
Well, and that's been something you've worked on for a year or more, correct, with your schooling?
Yes, I just received my level 2 certification last month. So it's been 2 years.
Congratulations. And what drew you to Ayurvedic medicine?
I kind of just felt like there was a missing link in all of the practices that I was doing. I knew a lot about nutrition and how to be a overall healthy person. I knew yoga. I was meditating. And I just felt like there was a missing link that connected all of those things for me. And that's what drew me. And I went in for personal reasons. I thought, well, maybe I'll be a coach. Maybe I'll like it so much that I'll share it with others. But I did it for me. And I liked the first year so much and got so much out of it that I went ahead and did another year. And, when something impacts your life so much and is that powerful, you have to share it.
Of course. And it's a sister type of practice compared to yoga. Like yoga and Ayurveda go together so well. Yeah. In fact, Kelly and we did a retreat in India, and we were meant to meet with the Dalai Lama, and the Dalai Lama had to fly to Japan for something. And so he said, I can't meet with your group, which was just an amazing opportunity, but you can meet with my physician. And his physician is an Ayurvedic doctor. And everyone had about 5 to 10 minutes to meet with him. And it was such an experience that it really made me think differently, because I'd always studied the doshas and, kind of knew about the food plan and the eating and the mixing of spices and hot and cold. But when I had my session with the Dalai doctor, I walked in right away. And he grabbed my wrists and he did the reading the pulses and everything. And he said, he goes, you're a raging vata. You're a raging vata. And I thought, wait a minute. Like, I've always thought I was a pitta, more athletic, hot and fiery. And I said, what about pitta? Aren't I supposed to be a pitta? Because you go through the profiles. And he said, no, you're so out of balance for your vata. He goes, tell me what you were like when you were a little kid. And I said, I was always a skinny, knock-kneed little blonde girl, cold all the time. And he's like, that's your constitution. That's who you are. You are so out of balance. And he said, this is what you need to do. And he said, stop eating peanut butter. And it was so funny because I don't like Indian food. And I brought a jar of Skippy peanut butter along because I was going to eat peanut butter and naan, and that was it, and drink Kingfisher beer because I didn't want to get sick. And he's like, stop eating peanut butter.
You went, oh no.
And it was really interesting because that was before I found out I had a peanut and tree nut allergy. So I had like this deja vu moment when I actually was in the emergency room being treated for my nut allergy, thinking, how did the Dolly doctor know this? And then the other thing he did is he took his finger and he pushed me right in my liver, which hurt like crazy. And he said, you need to drink wine. Drink a glass of wine every night. And I said, I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. I've never really drank anything. He goes, your body needs this. You have too much fat in your bloodstream. You need to drink wine. And then the other thing he said was, you're also fat and you need to do push-ups. I'll teach you the push-up that I taught the Dalai Lama. And it was a cross-legged, across your body push-up. He said, just do 5 a day. So no peanut butter, drink wine, and do these push-ups. And you're a raging vodka. Yes. Yes.
Boom.
I love that story. Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead.
I love that story. And I what's so cool about Ayurveda, and one of the things that I think is so cool, is that we focus so much on what am I, like what dosha am I, and we compartmentalize ourselves just like we do in a lot of other aspects of our lives, right? We put ourselves in boxes. And what I've learned is that, right, the imbalance that you had was masking who you truly are.
Yes.
Right. And so with a client and with myself, of course, I do this with myself as well. I recognize the imbalance and I work to balance, and then my true dosha can sort of reveal itself, and you end up just aligning more with who you are. You feel better. And then everything kind of falls into place. It's really brilliant and simple in that way.
Well, I love what you're saying because a lot of Ayurvedic treatment plans focus on, like what the Dolly doctor said. It was my diet, drink more wine. And what you just said is a powerful coaching tool where it's not so much about even all these practices, drinking the herbal teas and the different herbs that you're using, which all help. But it's like finding what your true nature is and the balance to like your life, to getting to where you truly should sit. And for me too, even, I was all about the doshas, but when he said you're a raging vata and not a pitta, and I always kind of put myself in a box, I thought, wait a minute, how do I bring myself back to balance to, like when you're a kid and you're natural and you don't have all this stress in your life and pressure to be like, the corporate ladder climber and everything else. And that was so much more powerful with what you just said, with the coaching part of it, not necessarily all these different things that you apply to your life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think when, if you do know about Ayurveda, you might have this preconceived notion of food lists and only eat this and that and these rules and those rules. And of course that's part of it, but there's a whole other world of information and practices that you can implement for healing, right? And to bring back into balance. And they include the things that we know from yoga, right? Breath, movement, meditation, right? Like those
right.
Kind of mind, body, spirit practices, right? It's a holistic practice.
Well, and I love that because, science tells us we need to move our body and we need to, especially now it's move your body and meditate. Those are the two big things. And I think sometimes, we like to take it to the extreme. I don't really know how you take meditation to the extreme because most people are just dabbling in it.
All day.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I think that, even with movement, sometimes I don't do, like, I always try to do a little something all the time. But there are some days too where I just I don't have a half hour or I don't have an hour because, I'm programmed from back in the day, I went to school for exercise physiology, and it was always like, 3 to 5 times a week and an hour a day, and even training as a bodybuilder. I would get on my exercise bike for an hour and then swim in the pool and, try to go running. And it was just nuts. And even today, I know that's not how we should move our bodies, and I definitely don't prescribe that to people, but I get stuck in that whole thing of like killing yourself. And we really don't have to. Science tells us that, even 5 minutes is good, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, those are all fine. But we go back to like move and breathe, like you said, and some meditation can change your whole being and your whole world.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other cool things about Ayurveda that I love is that the dose of exercise can be different for everybody, but also depending on the imbalance that you're experiencing, right? A raging vata who is ruled by movement and constant like change and stimulus is maybe not the type of person who should be taking a spin class and like not never, but not all the time, right? Like if your mind is like this, right, you're be doing this, right? Like increases like, right? You need to balance that out with the opposite quality. So that's a huge lesson in Ayurveda, is that the same increases the same, right? Like increases like. And
I love that. One of my favorite doctors, Ayurvedic doctor, is Dr. John Duyard. And I studied with him. I was training in some professional speed skating and some other things. And I had a big opportunity to meet with him and train with him, but do it through sports and through yoga. And I had a consultation with him. Very different from the Delhi doctor. He didn't recommend push-ups. But what he told me to do, he came up with the same thing. He's like, yes, you're out of balance vata. You have a little bit of pitta, but you're really a vata again. And what he said is because you're so out of balance, your exercise is lay flat. No exercise. He told me absolutely none. He says, if you want to bring yourself back into balance, you need to be still.
Yeah, like lay on your biomat.
Right.
And ground yourself, right?
And that's something that I try to remind myself all the time. Even though, I was a professional athlete, I love hot yoga, and the hotter, the better, and the more physical, but it's really not good for me. What's good for me is to really be in that stillness, lie on my biomat, meditate more.
Yeah. And that's hard for people that's one of the hardest things to communicate to people, is the thing that you really like to do may not be the best thing for you right now.
Right.
Well, and that's where I'm going to jump in, ladies. This is great. This is great conversation. I'd love to hear a little bit more about VeriMove, Liz, the platform that you have created, because you're not just prescribing one type of movement, and prescribing is probably the wrong word, but you're encouraging curiosity about movement and allowing people to explore and sort of have a cause and effect, like what feels good, what helps, what are the results before, during, and after. We do have Laura here who says she likes 1-minute cardio bursts. And that, that's a fun way. Sometimes you have 1 minute and you just have to move. And I know with your platform, Liz, you're encouraging people to move versus not move at all. Can you talk a little bit about VeriMove?
Absolutely. I love the 1 minute burst of exercise, by the way. That's awesome, especially for like sitting all day, right? Just 1 minute every half an hour, boom, 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 get it done. I started VeriMove in my head a while back because I, just like Debbie, was practicing just yoga for a long period of time, and I loved it. I still love it, but it was power yoga. It was hot, and I got to a point where my body was breaking down a little bit from it, and it wasn't until I started changing my movement diet, right? Expanding it into a little bit of weight training, some interval-based classes with more cardio. I started doing dance conditioning again. I started just hiking more, right? It wasn't until I sort of brought in like this more nutritious movement diet that I felt better and like really I felt stronger and I felt more balanced in my body. And I encourage people that are in the same rut of like, maybe you're just running, maybe you just do yoga, maybe you just lift weights, to expand their idea of what movement can be. And that's pretty much why I started it, and that's sort of the mission.
I love it. What types of things, if I go on your platform, what types of classes and things will I see?
All types. I'm still working on like expanding more and more. We have Pilates-based classes, functional movement, yoga of all types, hatha, vinyasa, yin, restorative, cardiovascular classes that I just don't even call anything. They're just like full body flow, right? Because here's that compartmentalized box thing again. Like I really like not calling calling a movement practice something specific, because it's just movement. I
love it.
It's just exercise. You're just moving your body, and you're moving your body in a variety of ways, hence the name Berry Move, right? So I'm loving it.
Well, one thing I love about you, Liz, is you're very creative in your movements and how you approach things. And, even with yoga, I've practiced with many different teachers, students. I've done a lot of yoga. But what I love is some of the things that you post, like even how you use a block differently with some of the simple moves. And, I see what you do and I go, I'm stealing that. Like I love watching what you have, because I still steal from you. Like one of my students who's so creative, it's not the same old thing. And yet it's not crazy. Like I can do the handstands and the crows and all of that. But, I followed one of your exercises with a block and I was like, oh, Lord, this is tough, and it's very simple movement. And I love the creativity that you bring.
Yeah, I love challenging people's brain-body connection. Like, can you hold a block like this and go like this? And can you still hold it, right? So, yeah, and like let's toss the block in the air. Let's do hand-eye coordination now. Like, why not?
That's fantastic. Right. Do you offer coaching as well through Berry Move, or is that something that people can reach out to you about?
Private one-on-one coaching?
Yeah.
Yes, that's on my website as well.
Great.
There's a page on there where it'll give you rates and a description of what it's like for a one-on-one session. Yeah.
Great. And then you do add meditation too as well, correct?
Yeah, there's a couple meditations in there. There's more to come. I actually recorded 2 today that I haven't uploaded yet.
That's great.
And where do you see your company growing? What do you think? What's exciting you right now? What gives you lots of energy and passion around what you're building?
Just where sort of like the ideas are constantly coming about where Berry Move can go as far as building community, bringing more people in. I would love to have like offshoots of Berry Move that maybe work with people in offices, right? So going and either having an online version or me coming into their office in person and just giving them very short ways to move their bodies throughout the workday.
Very nice. Well, you've always had somewhat of an online presence. I know you've managed programs in different studios and things like that, but you've really created something special with this. Where a lot of yoga teachers now, like they almost are forced to go online. I mean, that's how they can sustain their business and keep going. And you've been really successful with building this. About this new Berry Moves is what, 1 year to 2 years old right now?
Berry Move?
Yes.
October of last year. It's only about 6 months old.
And it's booming. It's great. And it didn't come from the studio and then to online. You just created it from home, which is really inspirational. So a lot of people that are looking at, I can't get into my studio right now, I can't be with my students, it does work online.
It does. And, we can't be together, but This is it's the next best thing, especially the live classes. I did one just today and we had so much fun. We were laughing and I could see all the little tiny images of people bouncing around and it was great. And you chat with them before and after class too. So it's it's like the next best thing to having a group class in person, which I do miss.
We do have, oh, go ahead, Debbie.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say we have, for those who are tuned in, and I'm going to put it in the comments, Liz has created a video that she'll be sharing with anyone who is interested. We'll give you a link. You can go to a landing page and you'll get access to a video. Liz, can you tell us a little bit about that video that they'll get?
Sure. It's a video called The 7 Best Exercises to Do Every Day for Mobility. And I've worked with the athletes at the local university here at UVA for the past, 5 years. And this is a sequence that I teach them. But the cool thing is that it's good for anybody, right? It's good for athletes all the way down to people who just sit on their butts a lot. So, it's 15 minutes. You can do it every day. You'll learn it really quickly. And it's easy. It goes to all the major joints of the body.
That's awesome. How do they get it, Kelly? How do they get it again?
It's showing up in the comments. There's a landing page. They can click on that. It's also above this video, how to get the goodies, the free goodies. And you'll be given an option to share your email address, and you'll get this free video from Liz, and you'll be on her email list, and you'll also be on our email list. We're going to give you a discount for our Breathe, Eat, Sleep 21-day challenge, which is meditation, food for the brain, food that helps with releasing the hormones that can cause anxiety, depression, some of those things that build up when we don't move, when we don't breathe, when we don't meditate, inspiration and quotes and things like that. So we're offering 50% off that, and then also this fabulous video from Liz and a way to stay in touch with her for coaching and even jumping in on the monthly membership options available at Very Move. And Liz, those are pay what you can, aren't they?
That's right. It's the sliding scale is $10, $16, and $30. And every once in a while, I'll do a half off, like a $5 first month. So yeah, pay what you can.
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, for each of you, what's one tip that helps keep you feeling really good every day? I mean, there's so many different things we could do. Is there anything that you each personally do that helps you to just feel good, especially in a time when things are different, really different?
For me, definitely, without a doubt, it's move in nature. Mm-hmm. Get in nature. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's great. Debbie?
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's important too. I really believe that getting outside, even whether there's sun or not, just get outdoors, get out of your house and breathe the air. It's so important. And we try to do that every day, especially with walking our dogs. But there's other things, I think it's things like I sit on the floor a lot. Like even here on this call, I'm sitting on the dog bed on the floor. And I always tell my parents too, like they'll complain like their bodies are a little stiff. And I'll say, well, have you sat on the floor today? Because one, you sit on the floor, you feel like a kid. To get up, you have to use like coordination and every muscle in your body. And, I always look at it as like even play. So I like to make it a mission to sit on the floor a lot, like get in the grass, go bare feet in the grass, get outside in the fresh air, whatever you can to get back to kind of like that childlike feeling of, exploration and newness and, like a beginner's mind, because that sets your whole day.
That's the Vata in you, Debbie.
That's the Vata in her, you said, Liz?
Yeah, that's the Vata.
That's amazing. I myself like to get immersed in cold water. It's a total reset for my brain, whether it's a shower, the pool, the ocean, if I can, or even just splashing water on the face. That's something that gives me the reset. So if I don't feel like doing anything, any of the things that I know will help me feel good, I start to get in that mode where, okay, now I feel good. So a little cold water I actually even have a hat that you freeze in the freezer. It looks like a stocking cap, but it's ice cubes. And people are like, "Why are you wearing a stocking cap in Hawaii?" And I say, "Because I'm hot." This is ice cubes.
It's so funny because when Kelly mentions cold water, she means like really cold water. And of course I'm the opposite. Like she just jumps in the pool and I've got like the wetsuit and t-shirt and everything else on. And it takes me like 20 minutes just to get up to my chest, where Kelly's like, I'm done already. I'm like, I didn't even start.
Yeah. Yeah, we all need different stuff. I love it.
Well, and that's the beauty of both Ayurveda and then some of these different, offerings. Breathe, Eat, Sleep Challenge and Very Move itself. The platform was created so that people can have different ways to access feeling good.
Yeah.
And you just have to do it. Do what you can, right? Do something.
Yeah, do what you can. I love that about movement too. It's like how exercise, we know all the regular things that are good for us about exercise, right? It's good for your lungs. It's good for your muscles. It's good for your heart. It releases good feeling hormones, right? But there's something about the brain connection too, when you're moving in a different way. Say you're moving like in a long, graceful way. There's a message going to your brain that says you are graceful. When you're doing something powerful, like power lifting or something, and you do that like big forceful movement, your brain is going to say, I am powerful, I am strong. And we say we say these things to ourselves like, oh, I'm too old to do that, I'm too slow, I'm too uncoordinated, I'm too what, fill in the blank, right? And right, and it's movement can like totally contradict that.
I know it's a language in itself. The movement is a language that feeds yourself with positive, good stuff.
And positive, good stuff is what we're all about around here, all three of us. So, do either of you have anything that you want to say to the audience before I wrap us up here today?
No, I'm good.
I wanted to say one more thing about Very Move, because it's actually something that I'm thinking about expanding on the message-wise. And part of the messaging for Very Move, and it's something I'm really proud of, is that never, ever in any of my classes will you hear me or any of the guest instructors say, this move will tone your ass. This move will sculpt your abs. Get ready for swimsuit season. Like, that is the complete opposite way that I'm going. I'm going for the joy of moving. I want people to move for the love of it. I want them to love moving. Find a way of moving that really, meshes with them, that makes them feel alive and whole and good. So, yeah.
Amen.
Amen. I love it. I love it. Those of you who are listening or who catch the replay, I'm Kellie Lynn. To upper left corner is Debbie Williamson, and below us is Liz Reynolds, who is our very special guest today. We thank you all for tuning in or watching the replay, and encourage you to check out the link with the landing page to get this special video from Liz, to learn more also about the 21-day Breathe, Eat, Sleep Challenge. We're so glad to have you as a part of our community, and we look forward to continuing many more conversations like these. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.